We are going to make homemade lasagna and homemade pasta sauce. We're going to have a little test, see what everybody thinks. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to be fun and new experience. As we're cutting the white onion, we're going to use a sharp paring knife. We're going to make a cut here to get the roots off, cut down the side to be able to get it skinned, and a cut here to get the top off. Pull that off, throw it in your garbage bag, and start peeling all this skin off. I usually take the first layer of onion off as well, because that way you don't have that dirt and residue from that skin. The recipe that I have is, it calls for 1 whole medium onion. I cut it in half because that way it's easier to maneuver and get everything cut. Cut in half. Sometimes if you have a sensitive eyes, it's easier if you run the onion underneath some cold water first, and that way it'll knock all that juice off. Turn that in over and cut. All right. Some of these pieces, like right here, you'll have to cut a couple times here just because they're too big. That's good. Get a couple here. All right. And we take all that, put in our bowl. I like using a bowl for everything I cut, so that way I'm not running back and forth to the kitchen. My kitchen's real small, so I do all my prep on my table. Side note, make sure you have very clean hands, because you don't want your dirty, nasty, grubby hands getting all in your food. So it's just best if you have nice, clean hands. Some of this stuff you'll see I'm using some store-bought ingredients, which is quite all right. You don't have to have all fresh ingredients. It's all up to you. Some of it will be store-bought, some of it will be real fresh. I'm using 2 tomatoes that are real fresh, and that's just my preference, because to me that makes it taste that much better. You may have your own preference as well. Now that we got the onion cut, we will be headed over to the kitchen, and I'm going to show you what we're doing with this onion. Now this is a very, very simple, but some people find it too complicated, and I hope I make it as simple as possible for everyone. I love cooking. Cooking is very, very relaxing. Okay, so I have the onions in the pan. which I'm going to leave a description in the link below of this pan. This pan's really good. And we're going to cook it until all the onions are clear. So basically until they're transparent, that you can see through them. If you remember on the Simpsons show, when it was Fat Homer, and he was asking his doctor, how do I gain weight? Because I want to go on disability. Well, doctor says, if you rub it on paper and it becomes clear, you know it's good for you.
And remember, if you're not sure about something, rub it against a piece of paper. If the paper turns clear, it's your window to weight gain. Bye-bye, everybody!
So that's what we're trying to do here. This be like the paper for the Simpsons. When it's cooked good enough and you can see through it, it's good. Okay, so I have 2 cloves of garlic here, and here in about 3 minutes, they're going to be going into with the onions. So I'm going to be chopping the garlic. What I like doing is crushing the garlic first, kind of like on Harry Potter where he's getting that potion down right, and he has to, it says chop the beans to get the juice out. Well, Harry finds out that he crush them, it gets the juice out better. Make sure you get the skin off the garlic. That skin you don't need, okay? That is really bad, but I really hate garlic because it gets all over your hands and everything. But hey, pasta has garlic in it, and we can't avoid that. So remember, if you're like me and you hate the garlic smell, wash your hands very good after you touch this stuff, because it's going to stay on your hands for quite some time. Now we move this out of the way and get our other clove of garlic chopped here. So take your hand, crush until it's nice and good. Cut the ends off, because you don't want that dirty stuff on there. Remember, remove the skin and crap. Come on out of there. All right. A lot of y'all probably know how to cut garlic already. I really hate this stuff. My kids say, "You're a vampire because you hate garlic." Well, shoot, if that makes me a vampire, I'm proud to be a vampire, because this stuff makes your breath stink, everything. So, there we go. The garlic's cut. Now we wait for our onions get clear, and then we'll be adding this garlic. Okay, so we got our tomatoes. Remember, when you're using fresh vegetables, always wash the vegetables. You never know who gardened them, what have yous, what kind of bugs were on them. So just wash the vegetables. Good practice. Use a paring knife. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to cut tomatoes and it all gets everywhere. So we cut our tomatoes, and we're trying to cut and make like a diced tomato. All right. Oh, goodness. I really hate cutting tomatoes because of how messy they get, but they make the food taste that much better when they're fresh tomatoes. All right, so dice the tomatoes. Good thing is you don't have to peel them. I like putting my tomatoes in the refrigerator first for about a day. That way they're nice and hard, and makes it easier to cut without all that juice going everywhere. All right, as you get them cut, put them in your bowl. All right, all these fresh tomatoes are going to be going in with your onions to cook down. We're going to be using 2 fresh tomatoes and then 2 cans of of diced tomatoes processed. The diced tomatoes processed do not have to go in and be cooked down. They can go straight into your sauce mixture. Why, you ask? Because what processed already cooks them down for you. The canned ones have already been cooked down. They're cooked down enough to where they're able to be put in without having all that extra water in them. The fresh ones have a bunch of extra water in them, and that's why you need to cook them down to make sure that you keep all that water out of your mixture. I made the mistake a couple of times and was cooking, I forget what it was, but it made my my soup really watery because I forgot to cook down my tomatoes. So it was a lesson learned for me. But anyways, I'm going to get these tomatoes diced, and I'll see you in the kitchen when we add them to our onions. Okay, so we're back here in the kitchen. We have our onions back on the heat. It's low heat. I put it about 4. We're going to be adding our tomatoes. Grab your spatula. And we're going to cook down these tomatoes in with the onions. This way, everything gets cooked evenly all the way through, as well as get cooked down. Want to make sure these tomatoes are cooked down. I can't stress that enough. So we put this back in our thing there. Now, with that, once that's done, we're going to be adding in tomato puree. Tomato puree is so complicated to make. I did not want to take time to learn how to make it, so I bought it in a can. Next time, hopefully, I'll learn how to make this stuff. We're going to be also using some already cooked down diced tomatoes. 2 cans of that, 2 cans of the puree going in there. We'll be adding some seasonings, basil, parsley, oregano, and also a little mixture of Italian seasoning with a pinch of rosemary. And I'll see you here in a couple minutes. Okay, so I had to take the spatula away. It accidentally fell a little bit, but I'm adding the onions, garlic, and tomatoes into the meat. Come on now. I have the diced tomatoes and puree already opened up. Going to be adding that. Look over here. And there we go. All right, so we needed some salt. Sprinkle in some salt. That'd be good. Some black pepper. Now, I don't like very much black pepper, so I think about that much black pepper would be good. Sprinkle in. Some basil. Basil goes good with everything. Gotta hide that black pepper smell. No one likes that smell. Parsley flakes. You know, I tried growing basil before and could never get it growing. So I had to resort to using these dried basil leaves. And I just don't think it tastes the same. I don't know. But if anybody has a green thumb and knows how to grow basil, let me know. The parsley flakes, it seemed like I was putting a lot in there. I wasn't. It was just so stubborn on coming out that it just looked like a lot. Might need a little bit more of the organic herbs. I don't know yet. We'll do a test after this cooks a little while. But some oregano. I love a lot of oregano in my stuff. That's just me. And I told you, a pinch of rosemary. Just a pinch. All right. Got all that in there. Now you stir. Take a look at that. That just looks so good. And you know what I forgot to add in here, which is quite all right. I can do it now, is the mushrooms. Can't have anything without mushrooms, and can't have Italian food without mushrooms and black olives. Wait, didn't you forget the black olives? No, I didn't. 1 can sliced black olives. Ah, so pretty. Just like on pizza, black olives go on everything. Now, I looked for my mushrooms. I like mushrooms in mine. I couldn't find them. So we're going to be just doing this this sauce without the mushrooms this time. But look at that. That just looks so good, so delicious. And it just has a sweet, sweet smell to it. But something I didn't tell y'all. Now it's time for the secret ingredient. 1/2 cup of hot water and 2 teaspoons of sugar. You mix that in a bowl and then add. Okay, so I got my sugar water all mixed in. Now we're just pouring it slowly in. And then we wait. Okay, so our sauce is all made. All ready to be put into our lasagna. So the lasagna, I wish I knew how to make the noodles. I don't. We put how many noodles down on the front?
5.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
I thought it was 3.
I'm never wrong.
Guess what? We're wrong. Look at that. All right, we got 3 noodles down. We put a layer of sauce.
Congratulations, Sheriff Bubba.
And it doesn't have to be a thick layer, it's just a thin layer.
Sorry, they have hired a replacement. He will be here in a minute. So I guess he sent his stuff ahead.
And he's late on his first day. Well, give me his phone number when he gets home.
All right, then we put what? A layer of
Dr. Blake,
noodles.
Yes.
All right, let's get those noodles down.
that's very creepy. That is the way to get those owners. Oh, just one of your freaky inventions. No, this is a $2.9 billion deal program. We'll have no duty in 2 shakes.
Another thin layer of noodles or sauce.
Marco, are you saying that the new sheriff of Eureka is a robot?
The biggest advance in soft-robotics since the 30s. But you can't expect any man work to replace Sheriff Jack Carter.
That's it. That's over again? I don't think so.
Come on, Joe.
I quit. I'm not working for that thing.
Joe!
And I guess one more layer, then we're good.
Now, next thing we got to put is our cottage cheese. All right, now goes the cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is something else I don't know how to make. Wish I did. Looks fun to make. I just don't know how to make it. All right,
Why don't you look in recipes?
get some cottage cheese down. And the cottage cheese just there to help give a little extra flavoring. And then a little bit right over here. Oops.
It fell.
All right. Now, noodles.
1, 2.
3, 4, and we'll just put one more. That's good, right? Then our last layer of sauce.
Rika can't have an experiment in charge of laboratories.
Either the sheriff and the prototype is ready, or would you prefer to leave the position?
I would prefer rehiring Carter.
Sheriff Andy is programmed with the latest protocols in criminal investigation. He is designed to be ahead of the problem, unlike Carter.
I know Carter has a unique investigative style, but his record speaks for itself.
Yes, it does. Dr. Blake, you are not a soul having motives. Your plate is full. Don't waste your time worrying about Carter. Yeah. What's this?
Ask your sister.
Oh, that surprised me. Relax.
All right. Now, what we put? We gotta put Parmesan cheese
Why?
because everything needs a cheesy top. Cheesy top.
Not weightless, Lexi. The tensor field repulses most of the graviton, but the subject retains 0.0096%, which
You know that just went on the camera.
I've gained 10 pounds in the last day.
10 pounds.
Shut up. You try making 2 whole people.
Sure.
All right.
Back to the generator.
Then
At a,
we cover it with aluminum foil.
nice to see you. Pleasure.
Shiny side up or shiny side down?
Shiny side down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
It goes down. Shiny side up reflects heat. Shiny side down attracts heat. And we need to do what?
Attract heat.
Yes, we gotta attract the heat. So we put shiny side down. Then we set this for 350.
Yeah.
Once that's done, we put it in for an hour and then you will see the finished product. So we finished our cooking of the lasagna and it is looking beautiful. Smells great. Can't wait to dive in. It's extremely hot, so we're going to give it a little while to cool down and then we'll dive in. See you back in a little bit. So how is it?
It's really